This is my 4th time filming this exact same video because my microphone decided that it would be a great time to die on me. Hey besties, and welcome back. I have filmed this exact video 3 times already. This is the 4th. So if I don't seem to get too in-depth, my apologies, but I've gone over this multiple times already, and I'm honestly a little bit irritated that I have to refilm this right now. So y'all can see the name of this video, and it's not clickbait. It's true. I got drugged at a YouTube event. When I say drugged, I mean roofied. Before I even get into this story, I would like to preface by saying I do not blame YouTube. I do not blame the venue where this happened. I hold no blame and no fault to anybody but myself in this situation. And before you come at me and say it's not your fault, I would never victim blame anybody else. If anyone else ever came to me and told me that they got roofied, I would not blame them. But I knew better and it was my fault. And you'll understand that when I explain it to you. But I really need to emphasize, I do not blame YouTube at all. I do not blame the venue at all. They are in no way, shape, or form responsible for this. In fact, they went above and beyond what anybody should have done in a situation like this to make sure that I was safe. So I have to give them all the kudos. There is no blame whatsoever to them. So what exactly happened? I went to the Boston YouTube Creator Collective event. I was so excited. Being a creator, especially a full-time creator, is a very isolating job. So being able to go and meet other people that do the same thing that you do and being able to make new connections and make new friends, amazing. I got to know some really amazing people in the time leading up to me being drugged. The Creator Collective event was pretty much, for lack of a better way to phrase it, just a big networking cocktail party. I've been to events like this before. I know how to handle myself at them. So I get there and everything's great and I'm meeting new people and I'm being social. Me, the introvert, I'm being social. And I'm meeting some really amazing people. Like, I'm very glad I got the chance to meet them. They're absolutely amazing. I order a drink, everything's fine, it's open bar. I'm like, great, I'll have a few drinks. I carbo loaded beforehand. I ate a bunch of French fries beforehand. Because if you don't know, carbs are really good at absorbing alcohol. Bread is technically the best, but I can't have bread because I can't have gluten. So I have French fries because potatoes do the same thing. I wasn't planning on getting drunk, but I was planning to have a few drinks because, hi, I went into this expecting it to be open bar. The B&H event that I went to in February was open bar. And like, I had quite a few drinks there and I was fine. So with my first drink, everything's great. I end up ordering a second drink probably like an hour into the event maybe. I get my second drink, everything's fine. I meet up with somebody that I know from Instagram and we decide, oh hey, why don't we go take pictures in front of the step and repeat? If you don't know what a step and repeat is, it's when you go to an event and they have like a backdrop that you're supposed to take photos in front of. That's called a step and repeat. Pretty much just the photo backdrop, but it's called a step and repeat. So we go to take photos in front of the step and repeat, and that is when I make my mistake. I put my drink down on a table and I left my drink unattended. I came back to the drink afterwards. We took photos together, we took photos separately, and then I came back to the drink. Do not ever leave your drink unattended. That was completely my fault, and I know better than that because I've been roofied before. Almost 10 years ago, I was roofied for the first time. Somebody who's already been roofied knows better. I know better. It is fully my fault. I know better than that. But so I go and I grab my drink and I take maybe 2 sips from it and then I blacked out for the rest of the night. I am 32, almost 33 years old. A drink and then 2 sips of a second drink does not a blackout make for me. The night before, I went out for dinner with my fiance and his family and I got 2 drinks that night and I was fine. I was sober. A drink and then 2 sips of a second drink in the course of an hour does not a blackout make. The rest of this is all what I've been told because I do not know what happened at that point. From what I've been told, I ended up calling my fiance, telling him that I did not feel well and I needed him to come pick me up. He brushed it off as, oh, Maya's just nauseous, because I get nauseous a lot. Hi, pretty girls have tummy problems. It's me. Hi, my tummy's the problem. It's me. I guess that about 10 minutes later, he got another call from my phone from somebody who said they were the owner of the bar. They said that they thought I drank too much and they took me outside and they asked him to come pick me up. Again, I had one drink and then maybe my second drink, but to the best of my memory, 2 sips of my second drink. According to my fiance, about 10 minutes after that, he got another call from my phone. And he was on his way to come get me, mind you. But he got another call from my phone. This time from somebody from YouTube. He said her name was Kimberly. And I wish I could thank her because she was an angel. According to everything he told me, she was an absolute angel. I guess that Kimberly called him from my phone and said I had certainly not had too much to drink. I don't know if, I know that she was walking around the floor. There was someone from YouTube walking around the floor, so I don't know if it was her. But I don't know if she was walking around the floor and monitoring how much people were drinking, if she spoke to the waitresses or the bartenders. I don't know. But I know that she told him that I had most certainly not had too much to drink, but that something was wrong. Apparently she said that there was something wrong with my pupils. I don't know what it was. He doesn't remember. He said that there was something wrong with my pupils. I don't know if they were dilated, if they were pinpointed. I don't know what it was. All I know is that there was something wrong with my pupils and she was very concerned and they called an ambulance for me. When I say they, I mean apparently Kimberly and the owner of this bar, once they made sure that I was outside and I could get some air, I guess they brought me a chair so I could sit down and they stayed with me until my fiance got there, and even past then, until I left. I cannot thank these people enough for that. The amount of bars that would not be willing to do that. The amount of bars that would quite literally, if they thought someone drank too much, be like, okay, leave, and just leave them on the sidewalk. So many bad things could have happened had this bar done that. Had Kimberly not realized that something was actually wrong, and had they not called an ambulance, I don't know what could have happened. But honestly, by them taking me outside and waiting with me, not just leaving me alone, there's a very good chance that they literally saved my life. And I truly wish that I could thank them. Kimberly deserves a raise, y'all. Please, please give her a raise. She really deserves it. So my fiance gets there, and I guess that the ambulance gets there. According to my fiance, they were testing my blood sugar, doing finger pricks. They were testing my blood pressure. Multiple times they tested my blood pressure, I guess. I guess they also said I had low blood sugar. They kept checking my blood pressure. I'm assuming they checked my heart rate, but that's a story for a different time. Hi, I have heart issues. It's a thing. I guess that even in my unwell state, I was still well enough to quite literally turn away the ambulance and say, I can't afford that kind of thing. Cause y'all, healthcare is expensive in the US. It's ridiculous. Nothing should cost as much as it does. From what I'm told, I was sitting in the chair, the ambulance was taking care of me, and then I started getting sick. They brought me water, I guess. I got a YouTube water bottle. I remember I was talking to another creator about One Tree Hill, of all things, because hi, I'm me, have you met me? And then the next thing I remember is waking up the next morning. Do you have any idea how terrifying that is? To not remember virtually your entire night. To add insult to injury, I was so unwell the next morning, but I didn't have a choice. I could barely stand. I couldn't get into the shower. My fiance had to literally help me into the bathtub, and he had to wash my hair for me. But that day was my fiance's uncle's services because he had unfortunately passed away. So I didn't have a choice. I had to pull myself together. I had to go out with the family, spend the whole day, the wake, the funeral, the after funeral dinner. I did not have a choice. I had to make sure I was okay. And I wasn't. I have a lot of regrets about that night. And if I could relive that, I would change so much about that night. I would never have left a drink alone. I regret everything about that. I know better. That's my own fault that that happened. I know better than to do that. I am so genuinely embarrassed about it because I met all of these amazing people who didn't know what was going on. Granted, at that point, I didn't know what was going on. But all these people probably thought that I was just this sloppy drunk, and I wasn't. And I can't go back in time and change that. First impressions mean a lot. And for that to be so many people's first impression of me, that's not who I am. I barely drink. I barely drink. But when I do, 2 drinks in one day, that's nothing. But it's not like I'm out getting drunk all the time. Also, the fact that this happened in Boston, when we quite literally have 2 serial killers right now, I mean, yeah, one of them is only going after like college-age men, so I know I'm safe from that one. But like, we have a whole nother serial killer now. There's a new serial killer in Boston. Like, I know better than this. I am a true crime fan. I know to not leave my drink unattended, especially when there's a serial killer on the loose. But I'm so embarrassed. I would like to sincerely apologize to anybody that I interacted with after that point. Please know that was not me. If you actually got to know me, you would find out that at my core I'm an introvert and I'm just this quiet, shy little emo girl. I quite literally just want to listen to Fall Out Boy and watch One Tree Hill and hang out with my cat. I don't like going out drinking. I don't like getting drunk. Genuinely, my idea of a perfect night is watching the X-Files, cuddling up on the couch with my fiance and my cat, and my stuffed cow. That's my life. That is my perfect night. Give me a vegan pizza and we're great. That's all I ever want. I'm not a sloppy drunk girl. I'm not what I appeared to be. And I know that people probably still won't believe it because that's what they saw. And I wish that I could change that. If I interacted with you and I was too much and I was over the top or I was sloppy or messy, I am so sorry. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. And I hope that you'll give me another chance to find out who I really am, because I'm not that person. To the staff, I apologize. Sincerely, I apologize. I would not drink that much. Would never drink that much. What you saw was my body's reaction to the drugs. And I can't apologize enough. To the owners of the venue, to the YouTube representatives, I am so sorry that I ended up being that way during your event. I, again, cannot apologize enough. I personally, if I had control over my body, would not have been that way. I don't know who it is that roofied me. Honestly, I don't think I want to know. I made a mistake and I let my guard down. And I wish I hadn't done that. And I am genuinely so sorry. I will say, apparently, as I was leaving, my fiance told me that Kimberly said that this happening would not affect my chances of going to events in the future. And I really hope that that's true. I have hope that it's true because, again, according to my fiance, Kimberly was the one who realized that something was wrong. She knew I didn't drink too much. She knew that something was amiss. She realized that something was medically wrong. And I genuinely can't thank her enough for that. Kimberly deserves a raise, y'all. Did I end up going to the hospital since I told the ambulance I couldn't afford them? No. Oh, Maya, you can't say that you were roofied if you didn't go to the hospital and you didn't get tested. I can. Because it happened 10 years ago. And it was confirmed I was roofied 10 years ago. And my body reacted the exact same way. Am I upset that this happened to me? Yes. Am I relieved that this happened to me, who had a fiance that was able to come pick me up, as opposed to somebody that was on their own? Honestly, yes. I can't even imagine if this happened to some 18, well, it was a 21 plus event, but if this had happened to some 21-year-old girl that didn't have someone who could come pick her up, that had to take the T home from this, that had to call an Uber, and God knows, well, there's plenty of amazing Uber drivers. There's some that aren't. I'm very relieved and very lucky that it happened to me and not to somebody else that didn't have a support system, that didn't have somebody that could take care of them. Obviously, I'm not happy that it happened, but if it was going to happen to somebody, better happening to me than happening to somebody that it could have ended up worse for. Gotta find the positive in everything, right? I guess that's positive from this. I will say, again, cannot emphasize enough, I do not blame YouTube and I do not blame the venue for this happening. They went above and beyond. They potentially saved my life by staying with me. I cannot emphasize that enough. They potentially saved my life by staying with me. I'm not naming the venue because I don't want people to judge it. That sounds bad phrasing it that way. I know that some people, if they hear, oh, someone got roofied there, will judge the venue regardless and will say, oh, I'm never gonna go there if somebody got roofied there. I don't want the venue to have any blame like that. They went above and beyond. They were absolutely amazing. I personally would go back there, partially because of how amazing they were. Like, they certainly earned my respect for how they were in that situation. The first time I got roofied was a completely different story though. I actually know who did it that time, but that's a story for another day. I boycott the establishment from the first time, but again, it was a completely different circumstance. This time, the venue did everything they could have, everything they should have. They went above and beyond. The representatives from YouTube went above and beyond. I cannot emphasize that enough. They were amazing. I hold no fault towards the venue or towards YouTube, or even to the other attendees. This is the biggest question that I have though, and that my fiance has asked me as well. Why? I have not heard about anybody else getting roofied. For all I know, it could have happened, I haven't heard it, but I did not hear about anybody else getting roofied. So why? Why somebody that almost the entire time was with somebody else? Because from the get-go, I was befriending people, I was talking to people, I found people that I knew from Instagram. My fiance even said, like, oh, if somebody roofied you, I'm surprised that they didn't, you know, buddy up to you and say like, oh, like, I'm with her, I'm gonna get her home. I wish I knew the situation. I wish I knew how the owner knew that something was wrong and took me outside, how the YouTube representatives, how Kimberly knew that something was wrong. I wish that I knew, because then maybe I could put the pieces together a little bit more. But at the same time, I'm glad that I don't know. I still try to see the best in people. I don't want to say that there's any creators with negative intentions. For all I know, they could have thought that it was just an abandoned drink. They could have thought it wasn't somebody's. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. I have no idea. I don't want to make assumptions. I don't want to pass judgments. I don't know who it was. I don't want to know who it was. I'm still going to trust other creators. But going forward, I know better than to ever leave my drink unattended. I already knew better, which is why it's completely my fault. And I know that. I can already see the comments, oh, you're a young looking girl. Like, of course something's going to happen. Why are you leaving your drink alone? I know. I know. You don't need to tell me that, because I've been beating myself up for it. Because I do know better. Is there a moral to this story? Watch your drink. If somebody does drug you, it is not your fault. But please be proactive in trying to protect yourself. You are your own biggest advocate, and you are your own best form of safety. Please make sure to never leave a drink unattended. If you can, always do the buddy system. This event had no +1s, which was totally fair. I'm not blaming them for it. I actually like it better as no +1s, because that way you got double the creators instead of half the creators plus their +1s. But if you're going out somewhere and you can bring someone with you, always do the buddy system. Never go anywhere alone. Never leave your drink unattended. Be careful. Don't do what I did. And once again, for emphasis, I do not blame YouTube. I do not blame the venue. And I think that Kimberly from YouTube truly deserves a raise, because her and the owner of the venue quite possibly saved my life. Thank y'all so much for watching my video. If you want to support me, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, YouTube will never tell you when I post. It's just a little bit broken like that. Comment down below with the wildest bar story time that you have, because honestly, I'm not even sure if getting roofied either time is my wildest bar story. I have wilder bar stories, which is a little crazy to me. But I love hearing everyone else's crazy bar stories. And I am fine now, by the way. I need to put that out there. I've had a few friends reach out and ask me how I'm doing. I'm fine now. I promise. I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.